Hello, I'm Will Swinner, and today I would like to talk about a subject that is affordable broadband internet access for all Americans. Uh, Now you might be asking, now I'd like you all to think about this question. How often do we use the internet? It's actually more than a third of our lives. But there are people and places in this country who need internet more than we do. And the federal government has a plan to make it more affordable, and we just need to ensure that they follow through with this plan. Because after all, why can't everyone have equal internet access, right? So here are some examples of how we use internet on a daily basis and why we can't do without it. For example, we send emails, we use it for social media, we use it to attend classes like we are right now, listen to lectures like we have been this semester. And the list goes on how we use internet on a daily basis. Now, for this discussion, I want to get the main point across that by taking action to access federal funding for affordable broadband internet access and make it more available to individuals and businesses who don't have it. Now, first, I'd like to discuss. Now, in this lecture or discussion, excuse me, I'd like to emphasize some main points. First, I will discuss the benefits of internet access both educationally and economically. Second, I will acknowledge the obstacles gaining internet access through funding by the federal government and explain how people can access those funds and applying for them, how communities can take action to eliminate the digital divide. Third, I will provide how beneficial working from home can be and how affordable internet access can make it happen. Now, I think you all can agree that providing internet access to all starting businesses will provide opportunities to grow. Erica E. Phillips, a writer for economic development, wrote that 8% of small businesses don't even have affordable internet access. And when I say rural businesses, I'm talking about farmlands, suburban manufacturers, even small mom and pop shops. And they can be cut off in today's markets because they don't have the proper internet access, which is why affordable internet access to it leads to economic prosperity. So something needs to be done quickly. In addition, there's no excuse why we students or any student should lack affordable internet access. Now, according to Education Week, the report estimates that 9 million to 12 million students still lack affordable internet access home from learning. For example, progress for Latinx families have been particularly slow. Even after a year of remote learning, a Census Bureau study by Chief External Officer Ryan Smith, this gentleman right here, states that 1 in 5 California households consistently have internet access, which is not really a good thing. So which is why we need to rally up, because again, everyone needs high-speed internet. How now? But don't worry, because the federal government has a plan to make it happen, and that is the American Rescue Plan Act. This act offers billions of broadband internet-related dollars to reduce consumer prices, build out network infrastructure, and fund digital skills programming. These communities need to rally together and apply for the federal government's funds. Because we need to encourage businesses and educational agencies to apply for them to ensure a way to connect the internet now and for the foreseeable future. And here we have an image of President Biden signing this act, which is a big deal, because even he agrees that everyone needs to stay connected. Everyone needs to have proper education. Everyone needs to keep their jobs. It's now becoming a mandatory part of our lives, especially during these times. Now, you might be asking yourselves, what is the American Rescue Plan Act? Well, in the act, Congress and the Biden administration include a multi-billion-dollar appropriation to help expand high-speed broadband internet access. The assistant editor of Broadband Breakfast, Jericho Casper, states this newly passed $1 trillion federal infrastructure bill can take $65 billion to install broadband internet and make it more affordable. Now, if this act is such a big deal, why hasn't anyone done anything about it? Well, it just could be that no one knows about it, or even if they did, they don't know how to apply for it properly. I mean, disadvantaged communities don't have the devices to access the internet. And there's also the application process is specific to who receives the funding. Now, I'd like to address the obstacles for applying for the ARP Act. One obstacle is that expense and invoice systems provide a digital trail for approved spending. In other words, it tracks the funds, how the funds are used, the amount and how much and for what use. The funds always have to be approved in order to be distributed according to a linked source. Applying for these funds have deadlines and that need to be considered, so action needs to be taken right away in order to request the funds. Not only that, there are older generations that don't have the digital skills, which brings me to the digital divide. I mean, we as younger generation know how to use technology, but there are those who aren't really up to code with it. Speaking of the digital divide, you're seeing, that everywhere there's a touch screen, like at restaurants, and that we have technology is becoming more advanced, and we, the younger generation, all know how to use it. But there are those like our parents or our grandparents who aren't really in tune with with the new advances of technology. As I said, the digital divide is when not everyone is up to code with technology and doesn't know how to properly use it. But broadband is an essential infrastructure, and no essential infrastructure should have the kinds of gaps we see within the broadband sector. But there is also a divided opinions for the ARP Act. This gentleman, Senator Bill Haggard, Republican Senator Bill Haggerty, claims that the Build Back Better legislation provides a grave threat to the American dream. I mean, he says it would impose government control, and so he believes that people will use it to climb the socioeconomic ladder. And also those are good points. And he also says that this price tag could add to the package to gross $4 trillion of tax incentives. But I mean, I can see his point, but this is an essential need for all Americans in order to stay connected. Now that I've addressed now, although there are challenges for applying for the internet access, the overall advantages outweigh the negatives. Did you know that according to global workplace analytics, a typical company can save around $11,000 per year for every employee who works from home? I mean, it's all thanks to affordable broadband. Because now I will discuss the advantages of working from home and even studying from home. For example, an average one-way commuting time in the US is 27.1 minutes. And we spend 100 hours commuting and 41 hours stuck in traffic. But you don't have to drive anywhere since you're at home. If you're working from home, you're learning from home, you don't have to worry about any of that. And 25% of employees and students are more efficient at home than in an office or a classroom. You're also talking about fewer interruptions, more focus time, quieter environment, and like I said, more comfortable workplace. So here's what I want you to do. In our communities, if you know any organizations, small businesses, or schools that suffer from not being able to access the affordable internet, you should inform them to apply for these funds. And it runs through the American Rescue Plan. You can write to your local senator or congressman outlining internet needs in your community that relate to improving your community and help you obtain the funds. And you can also have your representative assist organizations in securing funds to help small rural business sectors and educational institutions. Now, in conclusion, broadband internet access to remote and disadvantaged communities, as well as all students, will serve to improve people's lives. I've discussed what affordable broadband internet access can do for business commerce and education. I have explained what the ARP Act is, and address the obstacles that come with it. And then I summarized the benefits of working from home and all thanks to affordable broadband internet access. So I hope that I have persuaded you to rally up, sign up. Thank you for listening.